number of recent reports have highlighted widespread and often justified concern about children's safety online. The response to this question perhaps explains why.
While you're on your MSN or you're on your chat or you're online after school, put your hands up if mum and dads watch everything that you're on. Okay, put your hands up if you're on there and they don't know what you're doing. Be honest.
Many experts working in the area of online safety recognise that teachers are in a difficult position.
There's a very uncomfortable dynamic for teachers, I think, and the dynamic exists because the pupils, particularly the older children, actually know more than them about the technology. And I speak as a parent, I speak as an adult myself who works with kids, that it's about having the courage to be able to work collaboratively with children and young people to make this something that we share. It's a piece of learning that we do together.
This approach is one which schools are learning to adopt. Some of the most far-sighted have appointed an e-safety officer charged with teaching safe use of the internet across the curriculum and acting as a point of contact for victims of cyberbullying.
But then I went home and then I'll leave like nasty comments on my pictures or like just leaving me comments in general, just being nasty for no apparent reason. And I got really scared because I thought if I told someone and I'll get bullied even more.
Soon all schools will need to appoint an e-safety officer.
A one-off lesson on e-safety will not do anybody any good. It's got to be part of the curriculum, it's got to be part of everyday school life.
Just the same kind of thing.
But in the meantime, what can teachers practically do to promote safe use of the internet? We asked ICT consultant Dr. Alan Beecham to come to Rhodesway Secondary School in Bradford to conduct a series of experiments. He's working alongside humanities teacher Haroon Gardi and Year 7 inclusion manager Max Crowther.
Do you have some experience of the social networking sites then?
No, this is sort of a new thing really. I was born before the technology and I'm finding it quite difficult to get my head around it.
Good to see you, thanks for coming. What we're going to do today is look at some social networking stuff and see what you know.
Dr. Beecham establishes quickly that almost all of the pupils are members of social networking sites.
Which ones do you use? Bebo? Pixar, right, yeah? Facebook, you use Facebook? Have you got friends that you don't actually know for real? Yeah? How many sort of friends have you got on your site? 200, you got 200. And most of them people you've just met in cyberspace, are people you don't actually know? Yeah, most of them. Yeah? Okay, so what we're going to do now then is we're going to look at a profile. How old is she? 14. What sort of stuff does she like doing then?
Watching TV.
Watching TV.
What the students don't know is that the profile is fake.
Computers? That's boring?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you like to meet her?
No.
No, not at all. Well, that's really unfortunate because I've brought her along with me. Here she is.
The person behind the profile is not a 14-year-old girl. It's one of their teachers.
So, what's this telling you then?
It could be anyone.
It could be anybody, yeah, right. But before your teacher came in, did you find this reasonably convincing? Yeah?
Because she's got the phone numbers there. She's got address. She's got the address and everything.
I'm surprised that they didn't twig that the profile that we made was a made-up one, which they obviously didn't. So, work to be done.
Because she's got all that evidence on there.
Evidence. We've got evidence on there.
I was shocked. I thought it was a joke.
I was disappointed. Yeah. I expected it to be the girl.
They would have expected a young student to walk in, but the fact that it was a teacher was shocking, yeah.
So, what do you think we've learnt from this then?
Anyone could just get a picture from the internet or something, put it up and be someone who they're not.
It's about teaching children about safety in the online space in the same way as we would in the offline space. You know, Don't talk to strangers. Think about the images of yourselves that you're posting up. Understand that this is a digital footprint. This stuff is going to be around forever. Is this what you want people to know about you forever? Remember that people who tell you that they are who they are might not be who they are.
She looked young, like, you know, we know roughly how old she was. Well, she looked it anyway. And, like, we believed, like, the stuff that she wrote, like, releasing her address and stuff.
It's because like what she wrote is what normally what 14-year-olds would write.
You'd think it would be the girl, but actually it was a teacher. It just could be anyone sat behind there.
In the next experiment, Dr. Beecham is interested in just how much information pupils are willing to share online.
So what I want to do is to look at those sorts of things that you would put on a profile and just for you to write down those things that you're happy to use and leave off those things that you're not happy to use.
The pupils are supplied with categories of information, ranging from home telephone number through their hobbies to the social network trinity of ASL or age, sex, location.
You put name in it, wouldn't you? Yeah, you put age in it.
DOB.
Date of birth, whatever.
Yeah, but anyone can get your email address and then start talking to you and sending you emails. And
yeah, then you can block the emails. Yeah, but then they add you on MSN, you talk to them, get to know them. If you like them, you like them. If you don't, you block them and delete them.
What if they're paedophiles?
Then you block them and delete them.
Yeah,
but how do you know?
What about school name? Do you think you should put what school name?
No, because they can track you down.
There is some recognition that giving away personal information can be dangerous.
A photo. Would you put a photo of yourself?
No. Because no.
No, but if you do...
What if they see you around?
Save them and put them onto like phones.
They might see you around school like stalking and
Okay guys, can you finish off what you're doing at the moment? And then can you just turn your chair so you're looking this way, please? Have I got 2 volunteers from this group to come out and tell me about what you've put on here?
The first group were happy to post information in 17 of the 19 categories.
Put your name on. You're quite happy to put your name on. Yeah? Why would you put your name on? Obvious question.
Because you don't want someone calling you Oi or something. You'd like them to say your name.
You'd like them to say your name. So you put your full name on. Okay. Your email address. Why would you give them your email address?
Because then they could talk to you and stuff. And
well, can't they talk to you through the networking site?
They could, but like, it's like more...
Takes time, and then on MSN it's like quicker.
Right, so you've given them your name, you've given them your personal email. It's more private.
The second group is slightly more cautious, but will still share information in 15 of the 19 categories.
Date of birth. Quite happy with that? Yeah? For most of you, it'll be 14, and you're quite happy to reveal that you're 14-year-olds. Yeah, OK.
Why does this matter?
Right, well, in the best interests of Blue Peter, here's one I prepared earlier. That's what I'd be prepared to put on. I altered name to be just my first name. And I think you have to be careful even with that. I have to give, if I'm going to use a social networking site, people something with which they can engage, because if I'm looking for friends, then I need to give them something. So I'm quite happy to talk generally about
Dr. Beecham considers that only 6 categories of information are safe to reveal. They are first name, hobbies, favourite celebrity, TV programme and movie, and favourite quote.
We are kind of shocked as a group because you don't really think about what consequences and stuff would happen, but we just put like what we want to put down, but we should think before we write. One
of the things that worries me slightly would be in hobbies, some of you were quite happy to reveal that you played for United. If somebody was looking, it wouldn't take much work on the internet to find out where United under-15s play and go and visit the ground. If you've also posted your photograph, they then can identify you.
All this seems like simple and like easy, but it means a lot. It shows like how cautious you need to be about stuff like this.
So are you fairly confident that people looking at your profiles are only the people that you've invited to look, or do you allow anybody to look at your profile?
Allow anyone.
You allow anybody? Yeah?
It's a catch-22 really. If you don't give out much information, then people will be interested in you. If you give out information, people are interested in you, but then you're giving out information which is vital and personal. So I can understand the dilemma the students face.
When you like go home, you're going to change, take like a load of personal stuff off. I'm going to delete the friends that have added me and I've accepted, and maybe like not really get to know them, but just delete them.
The whole concept of it is they want to be part of this group because it's trendy. And that's the biggest sort of worry. Because of wanting to fit in, wanting to use this technology, they are open to far more than when I was a girl. You know, this wasn't there.
All the social network sites provide powerful tools which restrict the amount of personal information that's made available. But the level of knowledge about these tools, known as privacy or security settings, can be low amongst users. Dr. Beecham's final experiment is testing how good the knowledge is with this group of Year 9s.
If we've got a paper profile like this one, and this really, all this is a printed out copy of the sort of stuff that you were saying was all right, who would you be happy to give that to?
Friends.
Your friends. Right. So if I was to take all of these and throw them all out of the window, how happy would you feel about that?
It wouldn't feel that good because then people still walk around school and then it'll be on the floor, they'll be all on the floor so people can still pick them up.
So we don't think it's a good idea to cast our profile to the wind and let everybody look at it. So how can we control that then? Because there are good things about social networking sites. We don't want to frighten you to the point where you say, ooh, I'm not going to use those anymore. There are good reasons for using them. But what we need to do is to use them in a safe way. So how do we do that? That's what this next activity is about. What we're going to do is look at 3 different social networking sites, and what I'm going to ask you to do is to look at the privacy settings on those sites and see if we can change them so that the profile would be far more protected. Okay. Which fields have you actually decided are the important ones to block then?
The photos, the videos, education, work.
Right, because all of those have got things that have got information which might be able to identify you.
Yeah.
Right. So which ones are you happy for everybody to have a look at?
Status, as in like if you're single or what, going out with somebody.
Okay.
And friends.
Right. Friends. Friends is a funny one. What do you think about friends? What have you said about friends? Who are you happy? You're quite happy for everybody to know your friends are.
Oh, no.
Do you think if somebody could track...
Hanging around the group.
Yeah. Now let's say one of your friends isn't as good as you are, and one of your friends then allows themselves to be identified. Could they get at you by looking at who your friends are?
Yeah.
Is that possible, do you think? Yeah. So do you think maybe we ought to... Yeah. Yeah, I think maybe you're right. I think they were naive. They were aware of where the tools were and how to use them, but maybe weren't aware of the effect of using those tools and the fact that really to be safe, they need to be using them.